Hello again, this is the class on social entrepreneurship. The social entrepreneurship, the case for definition. Okay, we begin with this phrase by Bill Drayton. Social entrepreneurs are not content just to give a fish or teach how to fish. They will not rest until they have revolutionized the fishing industry. So, definition of social entrepreneurship. Unlike entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship is a new concept. No standard definition exists. However, major writers tend to agree on some of the following concepts. Social entrepreneurship addresses social problems or needs that are unmet by private markets or governments. And it is motivated primarily by social benefit and generally works with, not against, market forces. So, again, social entrepreneurship addresses social problems or needs that are unmet by private markets or governments. It creates innovative solutions to immediate social problems. That's the quotation here. It's motivated primarily by social benefit, addresses major problems in a multi-dimensional structure, generally works with, not against, market forces, balance moral imperatives and the profit motives. Definition of social entrepreneurship. The authors of the reading note that social entrepreneurship signals the imperative to drive social change, and it is the potential payoff with its lasting transformational benefit to society that sets the field and its practitioners apart. The authors also argue for a more rigorous definition, noting that while the social benefits are good, the actual definition of what social entrepreneurs do to produce benefit is less clear. A more clear definition will result in better use of resources. Definition of social entrepreneurs. Social entrepreneurs identify resources where people only see problems. They view the villagers as the solution, not the passive beneficiaries. They begin with the assumption of competence and unleash resources in the communities they are serving. Taken from the book How to Change the World, Social Entrepreneurs and the Power of New Ideas. Starting with entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship can be related to our more standard thoughts of entrepreneurship. Why? Social entrepreneurs adopt the business-like approach to social innovation. The primary difference, however, is not the nature of the entrepreneurial process itself, but rather the denomination of rewards sought. Therefore, social entrepreneurship maps into the traditional entrepreneurship process neatly. Jean Baptiste says the entrepreneur shifts economic resources out of an area of lower and into an area of higher productivity and greater yield. Shift economic resources out of an area and lower and into an area of higher productivity and greater yield. Unternehmer entrepreneur Joseph Schumpeter coined the term creative destruction. Creative destruction meaning to destroy the old way of doing things and replace it with new products and services, new methods of production, new markets, new sources of supply, new forms of organization. Peter Drucker, innovation is an essential quality of entrepreneurship linked to change in general and doing something new. The entrepreneur always searches for change, responds to it, and exploits and exploits it as opportunity. Innovation is essential quality of entrepreneurship linked to change in general in doing something new. The entrepreneur always searches for change, responds to it, and exploits it as opportunity. Continuation, shift to social entrepreneurship. The authors then put quite a bit of information about entrepreneurship in general in the reading, context, and satisfactory equilibrium, characteristics, inspired, creative, takes direct action, courage, fortitude, outcomes, big changes, new ecosystems, etc. Shift to social entrepreneurship. The truth is that entrepreneurs are rarely motivated by the prospects of financial gain because the odds of making lots of money are clearly stacked against them. The social entrepreneur aims for value in the form of what distinguishes social entrepreneurs is the primacy of social benefit. What distinguishes social entrepreneurs is the primacy of social benefit. So, components of social entrepreneurship. Roger L. Martin, Sally Osberg, 2007, Social Entrepreneurship, the Case for Definition. We define social entrepreneurship as having the following three components: identifying a stable but inherently unjust equilibrium that causes the exclusion, marginalization, or suffering of a segment of humanity. Identifying an opportunity in this unique unjust equilibrium, developing a social value proposition, and thereby challenging the stable state's hegemony. Forging a new stable equilibrium that releases trapped potential or alleviates the suffering of the targeted group. So again, identify a stable but inherently unjust equilibrium that causes exclusion, marginalization, or suffering of a segment of humanity. Identifying an opportunity in this unjust equilibrium, developing a social value proposition, and thereby challenging the stable state's hegemony. Forging a new stable equilibrium that releases trapped potential or alleviates the suffering of the targeted group. Key social entrepreneurship drivers. Social issues inadequately addressed by government. Social issues need to raise funds for charities. Changing public sector. Budget cuts require new revenue streams. Change rather than good stewardship leads to promotion. Growing demand for corporate social responsibility and ethical entrepreneurship. Growing demand for corporate social responsibility and ethical entrepreneurship. Boundaries, forms of social entrepreneurship. In the pure form, the successful social entrepreneur takes direct action and generates a new and sustained equilibrium. The social activist influences others to generate a new and sustained equilibrium, and the social service provider takes direct action to improve the outcomes of the current equilibrium. Note the Andrew Carnegie example, the public library system. In the pure form, okay, I'm going to repeat this slide. The successful social entrepreneur takes direct action and generates a new and sustained equilibrium. The social activist influences others to generate a new sustained equilibrium, and the social service provider takes direct action to improve the outcomes of the current equilibrium. See this figure, this exhibit pure forms of social engagement. The nature of the action can be direct or indirect, and the outcome can be extant system, maintained and improved, extant or existent, new equilibrium created and sustained. They can be, okay, if the nature of the action is direct, we have social service provision or social entrepreneurship. If it is direct and it is an existing system, extend system, maintain and improve, we're facing service provision. Then if we have a direct action and a new equilibrium created and sustained, that's social entrepreneurship. Whereas indirect action and new equilibrium created and sustained, that's called social activism. So don't forget this: new equilibrium created and sustained, indirect is social activism. The other two are direct, social service provision with existing system, maintained and improved, but this one, social entrepreneurship, is created and sustained in a direct manner. Landscape of social entrepreneurship. There is evidence of social entrepreneurship growth in the number of new organizations forming in the United States. In general, they grew 3% per year. Public charities grew even more impressively at 6% and foundations at 7% per year. Social entrepreneurship is not limited to starting a new venture. It also includes these following 6 categories: starting a new product or service, exactly, expanding a new product or service, expanding an existing activity for a new group of people, expanding an existing activity for a new geographic area, acquiring an existing business, partnering or merger with an existing business. So this is pretty much what you do to grow or change, to continue improving your business. Social enterprise continuum, from traditional business to traditional NPO. Socially conscious purchasing, corporate social responsibility, hybrid social enterprise. In this one, separate revenue generating entity with social element, earned revenue project operating with an NPO. Okay, psychological attributes of social entrepreneurs. The 7 most frequently identified characteristics are innovativeness, achievement-oriented, independence, sense of control over destiny, low risk aversion, tolerance of ambiguity, community awareness, and social concern. So for the innovativeness, develop new ideas to meet specific challenges, achievement-oriented, set personal goals and track progress, independence, highly self-reliant and like working alone on their ideas, on their goals, sense of control over destiny, rare see themselves as victims of their own environment, low risk aversion, creative at finding ways to mitigate risk, tolerance of ambiguity, particularly comfortable with situations that are not clear-cut, community awareness and social concern, see the value in social rewards. 4 distinct entrepreneurial types: personal achiever, 1, second super salesman, 3 real manager, 4 expert idea generator. So in entrepreneurship and parallel in social entrepreneurship, personal achiever innovates autonomously. For entrepreneurship, for social entrepreneurship, look to start social ventures. Super salesman innovates through service to others in entrepreneurship, but in social entrepreneurship, usually found in fundraising and innovate in the ways they find donors. The real manager in entrepreneurship, manager from within an established organization, and social entrepreneurship take established social enterprises to new heights. And for the expert idea generator, entrepreneurship as an entrepreneur relies on expertise and creativity for innovations, and as a social entrepreneur make it possible to meet social missions in new and innovative ways. Okay, I'm going to stop here because time's up. I will going to record the second part in another video. See you. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next video. This is the end.